there's this thing I would like to share with you, not to pass judgment, not to pretend that I have all the facts, because I have none of them. But this afternoon I was eavesdropping while working at home on the online class in economics that my daughter had. And it was about the European Union and about its purpose in an economic sense. And it was all about economic growth. And I heard the teacher, he sounded really bored and not invested, even though I believe that every teacher right now is doing whatever they can to get students from one side of graduation, of one side of a school year to the other. So this is not meant as criticism at all. I just noticed something that I think is a worldwide phenomenon, and that is that we're all keeping ourselves prisoners of the paradigm that we choose to be in, because we don't know what's on the other side yet. We don't know where we're going yet. All we know is where we come from. So this teacher was reading this text, this literal text from a book, explaining about the importance of the EU, and that the country's success and happiness seem to depend on economic growth. And it's all about import and export and money and numbers and volumes. And when there was a little break, I asked my daughter, would you like to ask an interesting question to the teacher? And she said, like what? And I said, well, how he views economics in the light of COVID-19. What the difference will be when we return to the world. How the reality changed now that we've seen the results of ongoing growth, on focusing on more and faster. And of course she didn't ask the question. I didn't expect her to. I didn't want her to. She said, well, I could ask the question, but he'll know it came from you, because I never ask questions like these. And I think that's a problem. Most people never ask questions like these, not even the people who are supposed to wonder about these things. And I'm not here to criticize the educational system or any teacher in particular, but it did make me very sad that an economics teacher was just reading these lines from this book. I asked my daughter, will your test be about the present or about the past? And she said, well, I heard him read from the book, that's why he sounded so boring. So it will be the past. So we don't really have to think about it. Which is good for her, because that's an easy pass then, right? But that's a tragedy for the world. Because even now that the present has changed, we teach our children from the past. We teach all truths that may have never been true to begin with. We hold on to things that used to be true, maybe, but now that we're in this crisis all together, we're stuck in the past, and we keep repeating the past, even now that the present has changed. This economics teacher he's saying things about the EU, about economics, about the world, about trade, that are not true anymore. And he doesn't know, just like I don't know and you don't know, if they'll ever be true again. I hope not. I hope the world that we came from is gone. I hope we'll be able to create a new one. But how are we going to do that if we don't create the future based on the future? We keep creating the future based on the past, based on assumptions of the past, based on how we're used to doing things. And I hope I hope that this crisis has shown us that we can't do things the way they used to be anymore. And that maybe if collectively or individually, that's the same to me, if we have the courage to first of all realize that we don't have the facts, that our truth may not be true, and that we may not have the answers, as in how to do better, how to be better. But if we have the courage to stop repeating the history books, to stop repeating the things that brought us in this situation in the first place, if we have the courage to say, okay, we screwed up, we don't know, let's talk about creating this new earth. Let's do better. Now that we know better, even though we don't know the answers, let's do better. But I hope that my son is 2 years old now. I hope that by the time that he's almost 16, his teachers will teach him not about economic growth, but about personal and collective growth, about Ubuntu, and about how something should be good for all in order to be good for the individual. That we can look at how outdated our systems are, how to deal with politics, how to deal with healthcare, how to deal with food, with consumption. Maybe our monetary systems will have vanished by then. We don't know, do we? What we do know is that we will all be dead soon. And I hope that we as adults will do everything in our power to leave a legacy that's about daring to ask questions, that's about daring to say, listen, this old economics book, this old history book, this old whatever, the thing that we created before COVID-19, it doesn't have the answers. Let's find out what's a better way. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? And, in the Netherlands, things are becoming crowded again, and I'm starting to sense people stressed again, and they're filling their days again and going back to their old ways again, and, the skies are cloudy again, the roads are crowded. So I hope that this misery has lasted just long enough for us to think about life in a different way. And I truly hope that we will teach our children something new, which may not be the answers, but I hope we'll have the courage to ask ourselves, to begin with, new questions.